child, Andrew. Child.
At this point, I've reached out and done all I can do.
You've done everything you can do. Well, good morning, and we're going to slowly warm up. Today we'll warm up a little bit, but it still will be overcast. And then tomorrow, mid-70s, 80s by Thursday.
It is June 11th, by the way.
I know, this is chilly for this time of year. We are loaded today, a bunch to get to. I could not, for the life of me, find my key. Is it key fob?
Key fob.
My key fob.
My fob. I can't find it.
This morning, I could not. I'm running through the house. I'm all over the place. Finally, I had to dig through my wife's purse and grab my key from her and ran out. I swear to God, by then I look at the clock and it's like 8 after 6. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible.
If you had just got in your car and hit start, you would have realized that the fob was in the car.
It was in my cup holder.
Oh.
Because yesterday I had to go to Wynn Hospital and I had a test yesterday. And at Wynn, it was very nice, organized. It was good. And I used valet parking.
Yeah, it's really cool they've got that.
She was wonderful, I got to say. And you know what? Nobody tips these people. They're working their tails off, and nobody tips them.
They don't?
I'm telling you, they don't.
Wow.
I did. And, they parked my car. I got my car rather quickly. Bing, bang, bong. It was over. But the least she could have done is said, I left your key in your cup holder.
Where else she would have left it?
Right, where else would she leave it, you idiot? I'm going through yesterday's things that I worked on. I'm going through the couch. Did I sit down? It fell out of my. It had to have fallen out of my pocket. Going through the couch, everything.
Mm-mm.
So then I'm tearing wait till she gets up and sees her purse is torn to pieces.
Well, we'll expect that phone call off the air.
We are loaded today with a bunch to get to. I have so much to get to. Of course, yesterday we heard. So officially, what do we know? PAs, physician's assistants.
I think it's physician assistant.
Physician assistant
is the exact title. Yes.
Listen, that's always my daughter is pre-med, and everybody keeps telling her you should become a PA. Less schooling. You don't have to deal with the, having to cover all the time on the weekends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And they make good money.
And they do really well, and it's less schooling. That's a big key. Time will tell if she follows it. I don't think she's going to. To become a pediatrician, which is what she wants to do, it'll be 12 years of schooling.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, a lot of nurse practitioners too. She's far beyond that as far as schooling.
That's another thing that she could have been. It's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, it's
they
the
have
same
their own practices. They have their own family care practices.
So anyway, the announcement was from the hospital. Apparently, I remember one out last week. The PAs are not allowed to conduct any invasive procedures. So I started digging in to find out what an invasive procedure really means, and it is anywhere that the body is. It's very vague. It depends on how the hospital, how Wynn defines it. We'll find out today, by the way, because Darlene Stad is on the air this morning. And she'll explain. There's a lot going on here that is putting people's confidence in the hospital at a stress level.
Yeah, 100%. The exact memo that was sent out, and you can read the full thing at WIBX950.com. Effective immediately, physician assistant providers are not allowed to perform invasive procedures at the Wynn Hospital. This includes the operating room, all procedural areas, and the bedside. Please note regular PA duties may continue. More information will be provided when it becomes available. The memo was sent to all staff from Dr. Kush McCall, MD, who's the president of the medical staff.
Well, three and two other.
Dr. Fred Tellerico, who's the chief medical officer, and Marianne Healy Rodriguez.
So this was released. This was sent out last week, and now, of course, it's being leaked to the media because it broke yesterday, and everybody has it now. So what does this mean? So I guess I would ask, what is technically an invasive procedure because technically it includes an invasive procedure includes sticking a needle through someone's skin. I mean,
which a phlebotomist is qualified to do.
Can't do that. So what can they and can they not do, and where did this all come from? Also, did it come from an incident, or is this part of this quality control audit that seems to be going on at Wynn? We'll ask all these questions of Darlene Stad, the CEO of Mohawk Valley Health System later on this morning at about 7:40. We'll speak with her. Also, Dr. Hall is on. The latest on everything going on out there, and there's a ton of stuff. Assemblyman Ken Blankenbush and the single-use plastic ban. So
this would mean, you know what this would mean? This would mean like your tubs of cream cheese, any kind of container that's sold in stores. Not just, single-use plastic bags that are already banned. I'm talking anything in the state that's
what this would also mean is prices would go up because it would mean manufacturers would have to change what they're doing.
Like Chobani?
Nationwide.
Chobani would
all of those Chobani cups are not
that's single-use plastic.
They're not recyclable?
I don't believe so. Well, I think they are recyclable in the sense that they're plastic you can recycle.
Well, they wouldn't be single use though. Then,
well, that's
single
true.
use would be considered.
Well, I would define it as you use it once and then recycle it.
What about all the stuff that goes in your freezer? The cardboard that goes in your freezer. That's single use. That's to be thrown out.
Yeah, that's
if it
not
has
cardboard.
A coating on it, it's not cardboard.
You can't recycle. Well,
right.
It is it may be made of cardboard, but it has that coating.
This has everybody up in arms right now.
What does it mean?
And how do you do it? And that's the other thing. How do you do it? So Ken Blankenbush will talk about that. Also, Senator Joe Griffo in to talk about it as well. We'll speak with him later on this morning. And Need to Eat Bakery. Doug is on this morning from that really nice eatery downtown in Franklin Square. We want other people's opinion on this alleyway. Is it just me that's complaining? Is it just Andrew? I don't want to throw you in on it.
Well,
but,
it's...
is it just Nancy Ford who's complaining? Or are others bothered by this? Even the mayor, when the mayor was on, said, yeah, something has got to be done.
I did
and
speak
if you get down there right now and you look at the plywood or presswood on the high part of that building is starting to bow now. It looks like more pieces are going to fall. You put a homeless person sleeping on the bench, all of a sudden one of those comes down, it'll kill somebody.
Yeah.
Once the wind takes that big 8x6 sheet of manufactured wood, that it catches the wind and boom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at the very least, seriously injure them.
Not to mention, I can't imagine anybody's walking their dog across that. Well, there's going to be a liquid an epoxy that'll go over it. It still looks horrible.
That's not the point.
And now
it's ugly.
This is turned into all of us. It's all personal and political. We're trying to destroy her politically. Listen, she's taking playing the victim card, and she does it with everybody. I mean, we were always very, very fair with her when she was getting hammered over complete streets. We were incredibly fair.
Well, we gave her a platform to come on and defend her choice, defend her decision as a council person.
Although I even ceased, I was moving towards a new song parody about Katie.
Back then?
Yeah, and I ceased operations immediately because I didn't, I'm like, listen, she's going through a lot of crap here. Let's cease operations. Remember that cease operation meeting we had?
Yeah.
The parody was, I thought it was fitting. You take Willie Nelson wrote the Patsy Cline song, Crazy.
Crazy.
So instead of Crazy, it was going to be Katie. Done by, like a Willie Nelson style.
So at that point,
I think it's going to be, I think we have to have reissue the action meeting.
Alleys are
talking about my wife?
No, alleys is in the alleyway.
Oh, okay.
At that point, though, I was still a Keeler listener. But I can tell you, I was listening frequently about the complete streets.
Right, you were not working with us,
and I was a furious member of the community, having to drive to my downtown office, being stuck at the intersection of Genesee Street and Oriskany Street at 11:30, with the fear of being T-boned because the whole Genesee Street was backed up.
Hey, Davey, can you check down the hallway? Is Wheeler down there? Can you see if he's able to log into...
He emailed me something.
Okay, what's going on?
Check your Town Square Media
Something
email.
is going on. I cannot get into this service that I normally get so much good stuff from. This morning, we'll do Hobica's Free Money Question of the Day. I'm excited about that. It's a good one today. And today, Davey, how much money are we looking at today here on this Tuesday?
$200.
$200. So I think we'll do, again, the consolation... close, what are we calling it? Laundro. It's called Laundro Lottery is what we'll call it.
Ooh, okay.
With my mom, and you pick between 1 and 30. You get 3 numbers, though.
She does a great job.
If you connect any of the 3 numbers, she puts the clothespins. It used to be ping pong balls, but they'd bounce all over the kitchen floor. So now she puts clothespins in the right in the dryer. And then the dryer goes round and round. She pulls out 3 clothespins, numbered 1 through 30. If you can match one of the 3 numbers, you end up getting half of what. So, like, for instance, today, it's $200. Let's say you win the $200.
You get $300.
We'll still do the Laundro Lottery. You could get $300 today.
I love that.
Holy cow.
Holy Habica in the morning.
We'll do that at 7:40 this morning. And anyway, Doug from Need to Eat Bakery, how does he feel as a business owner right next door to this thing?
I heard from...
How does River Hills Properties feel right next door to this thing? How does the guy who's building up the new bar and grill?
Oh, maybe we got to get him on.
How does he feel? Right next door. They clearly have a side exit there where they're going to be able to do tables and that. So you're not going to do tables out there. It looks terrible. It looks awful.
So I did speak to another business owner in the area who wishes to remain anonymous, and he said it's ugly. Those were he kept it very short and sweet, but he said it's terrible, it's ugly, and he's just not happy with it. And this particular individual also pointed out that if you look towards the back section of the alley on the Hotel Utica side, actually the paint or the green paint or whatever starting to fade. Some spots are brighter than others. Sometimes it's darker. I don't know if moisture got in there and it's starting to...
Well, this whole thing is a mess. And the company claims they do all this work in New York City. I'd like to see where. Because these little nooks they're creating in New York City look really good. The complete streets look really good. Cab drivers are complaining about it because they're losing lanes. But at the same time, if you're down there and you get it as food from an eatery, you get right out and you sit there, and you're really sitting where Broadway used to be. But it's been completely done over, but it was done right, in my opinion.
Even if this contractor...
This is just a disaster.
Even if this contractor does stuff around the state and does a good job with it, I mean, I don't think that they were in charge of the design of it. They may be the ones that install the broken glass material and whatever else goes into it, but which I'm not crazy about.
Yeah.
But,
all right. We're going to talk to councilperson Joe Beatus as well coming up, who should be here by now. Is he here?
Yes.
Bring him in. What's he waiting in there for? The hell?
We may have to break once more before.
Let me break now. We're going to bring in Joe and get his take on all of this.
I'm going to keep you on the breaks today.
Also, apparently, here's this major service that provides information and audio clips to radio stations around the country, and their entire server is down.
Ooh.
How does that happen?
Attacked.
It's day number 2 that it's down. So everything is being sent to us through a Dropbox. It's crazy. Let me break quickly, and we'll get to it. It is Tuesday, the 11th of June. Another off day today before things begin to warm up. And I will say Father's Day weekend looks pretty good right now. Father's Day weekend looks like temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
Love it.
Already have some comments. We'll get to that coming up. Hold tight. Coming right back on WIBX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
The only place to get your Memorial Day mattress is at Mattress Express. No one in New York State has all the brands under one roof that Mattress Express has, and listen to these Memorial Day deals. Save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster sets and get a $200 prepaid Visa card. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic sets and get a $300 prepaid Visa card. Save up to $500 on Sealy sets, get a $100 prepaid Visa card. Now, Mattress Express has the largest selection of purple mattresses in upstate New York. We sell for the same price as online, and at Memorial Day deals, you can save up to $800 on a purple set. On top of all that, you get our brand name low price guarantee. If you see the same mattress advertised locally within 30 days after purchase, for less, we'll refund the difference. If that isn't enough, take up to 60 months to pay on anything in the store with no money down for qualified buyers. See store for details.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
This is actual footage of Bill Keeler doing a radio show on WIBX. Sadly, his career was found in a heavily wooded area. If you know the person or persons who ended the radio career of Bill Keeler, please tell them thanks on behalf of the people of Central New York.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, you want to win windows from New York Sash? It's Win Keeler's windows. The same windows we're having installed or did have installed in our home, which are the top-of-the-line, high-end, beautiful double-hung windows. You get the same 4 of them. 4! And there's no purchase necessary. All you have to do is go to newyorksash.com/Keeler. And I'll put a link up today right on our website so you can click right to it. You could register, and there is no purchase necessary, and you could win. Also, Boilermaker is coming up. We're about a month away.
And it is $15K sold out.
How would you like to sing the national anthem? Are you that good? Could you sing the national anthem at the post-race party in front of 40,000 people? We'll hold an audition, a tryout for that Tuesday night at Babes at 6 p.m.
It's a week from tonight.
We will all be there.
You know, Ryan Schmelz sings a good national anthem.
Ryan Schmelz sang the national anthem at Yankee Stadium, I believe. It was the other night when the Yankees were on the road.
Yeah, right. He was just there.
Here he is now, Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Good morning. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning.
I can't get over that cell phone you just aired on your own airwaves about your your career. That was amazing.
It's terrible, right?
I mean, that is
finished career.
My younger brother. That is something my younger brother would have just purchased a radio spot just to do if he had the money.
That's right. That's right. Listen, here people hate me so much they're purchasing negative ads about me. It's awful.
Attack ads.
It's terrible. Don't listen to this piece of garbage.
Yes.
Okay, the Manhattan DA is going to be testifying in a House GOP probe. What do we know about this, Ryan Schmelz? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So based off what I understand from some sources is that Alvin Bragg initially was asked to testify by the House Judiciary Committee on June 13th, so this Thursday, but that date was not agreed to. But the plan is still for Alvin Bragg to appear at a later date. They just haven't worked out when that's going to be just yet. And this has happened a couple times this Congress where they pick a date at first, but then they work with whoever's team that they're working with and get a date settled.
Okay. You're going into the lion's den. If you're him,
yeah, of course,
you're walking into the. So I would probably expect him to do everything he can to set certain rules, which he's going nowhere with. But who knows? He may delay this kick this can right down the road. You believe it is going to happen?
Yeah, that's the understanding that it is going to happen. There's been some other reporting out there from other outlets where they obtained some letters that were written by the DA's office to the Judiciary Committee saying that they just have a scheduling conflict on Thursday, but they are willing to testify. They just need to find out when that's going to be.
Okay.
And, I think what's going to be interesting, too, is if that date that they come to is after the sentencing, which is supposed to happen in early to mid-July, what's that going to be if the sentencing does not satisfy Republicans or ticks them off at all?
Right.
Now, is there anything new? I mean, could that possibly be delayed with regard to this alleged social media post that the judge sent a letter about? Would that delay the sentencing, you think?
But potentially. I don't see why that couldn't. I think it really depends. I think with sentencing, sometimes they want to get that done with as soon as possible. And it just depends on, what the severity of what they're planning on putting Donald Trump under. But it just depends.
Yeah, interesting. All right, interesting stuff. We'll see where it all. Actually, that's such an understatement. This is crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
Man,
we're getting numb to it, aren't we?
We are. I mean, just think about it. You've got Trump on one hand and the trial and this, that, and the other thing. And then all of a sudden, you've got the first lady going to her stepson's trial. Oh, yeah, he was smoking crack cocaine every 20 minutes. I mean, what world did we fall? What ledge did we fall off? And what world did we fall into? I really kind of wonder. Wow. Okay, interesting stuff. It is, listen, good time to be where you're at in D.C. So, all right, Ryan, thank you.
All right, Ryan, thanks. Go Yankees.
Oh, come on.
All right, thank you.
I'm hanging up.
Do not even respond to that. Okay. He's a Baltimore fan.
Yeah, of course he is.
All right, in studio right now is Joe Beatus. Joseph, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Thanks for coming in so early. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You got to sit up forward. Sit up straight. Sit up straight in your chair.
Can't. I got a very bad neck. That's what
I know.
My problem is.
Oh, well, we can. So hold on.
Andrew, help him.
No, I'm okay.
We don't want to hurt you here.
No,
just think of the number of cases of Coca-Cola he's carried.
Yeah, you're right.
Even back when they were glass bottles.
Yes,
you got to go see Dr. Tim Delmedico revive Softwave.
You don't want me to bring that up to you. It's your advertisement, so I don't want to.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
Okay. Well, he started things off well, didn't he?
No.
He's already confrontational, so that's good.
No, I'm not confrontational. I just respect that that's your...
Well, you don't believe in that? Well,
I've went to it, so I didn't. So
it's not going to work. First of all, it's not going to work on everybody,
right.
But I will tell you,
right.
But I will tell you this. I spoke because I asked I asked a physician, is this for real? And the reality is, for certain conditions, it is absolutely effective, and has worked on. The NFL players have them, and the NFL teams have them in the. So I mean, there is a proven use for it, and you're looking at somebody that it worked on.
I just believe that probably on my situation and with a disc, soft tissue and stuff like that, it's probably not as effective.
It's not going to miraculously correct a disc problem.
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
But it may relieve it.
Right.
Anyway.
But when you get desperate, you're ready to do
I understand.
anything.
I understand. Believe me. Think of the number of people that are. I mean,
right.
Hunter Biden.
And
ask him. You get desperate. All of a sudden, you're smoking crack to make the pain go away.
To be honest with you, they were wonderful there too.
Okay.
And, it was great. I had a good experience, and it just didn't work for me. So.
Okay, fair enough. To me, as Billy Joel says, honesty about everything is the way to go. Remember when he sang that song?
It's such a lonely word.
Okay. All right. What is your take on,
to be honest with you.
First of all, you like it? Oh, my God.
No, to be honest with you, I had really until actually I came home and Linda, I'm going to call her my wife.
Okay.
Actually asked me about what's going on in Franklin Square because she's an avid follows your show every morning.
She should.
He says that like he's shocked.
No, but I'm like, what are you talking about, right? I never really even paid attention to it, and
I hadn't either, to be honest.
And I've never actually been there and walked it. My biggest issue with that whole downtown area is you have a beautiful mural that could be controversial, but I mean, I don't think it's ugly. I think it looks nice. Okay.
I listen. I don't love the mural, but I haven't gotten into the mural.
I'm going to come down and complain about. Okay,
it's not. I'm not going to come down there and be like, "Oh my God, I got my picture taken in front of this thing."
Right.
Whatever.
Either
way,
is what it is.
At least it was done nice.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yes.
My biggest complaint about that is when you drive up Genesee Street. So you got this alley on one side, right? That I don't really know a lot about.
It's hard to actually.
Sounds like it's terrible.
It is hard to really see in there because there are a few trees.
It's like the color is kind of like a.
The color's terrible.
Right.
It's what the color is. I don't want to offend anybody.
And you got.
But it's white trash.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow! You went right up on the ledge.
Well, it's either white trash or TV studio.
Right.
Where are we going?
Right.
It's like a chroma color. You could go in there, I guess, and
it's a green screen. It's
like
a good way of describing it. Yeah,
chroma key.
Well, so the main thing is you drive up Genesee Street, and to the right, you have the building, the front of the building that looks like a third world country.
Well, is that another?
And I'm not sure if that's. And again, I'm speaking from myself. I'm not sure if there's plans what they're going to do.
Is that the bar that's being built?
I think that they've been working on that building for years.
Okay, but I'm just saying this.
You look inside now. You look inside that building, and there's a bar now.
Okay,
but man, you got to finish that crap.
Right,
it reminds me of the car wash at Zeb's. It went on forever.
There was DMR money. You spent money on all that. They should have got money. The city, even back then, should have used some of their money to paint that building, to make that building look beautiful. While this mural's being done.
I think they're restoring the brick or something. I don't know what they're doing there.
It's just that's the biggest thing.
There's and then you go up near Mello's Subs up in that area, and that's it.
Yeah, but they're working.
Are they finally?
At least they got even on both of those buildings across the street.
Listen, but they put scaffolding up
to make it look like they're doing something,
and then they did nothing. I haven't seen any beyond the scaffolding.
The windows are filled in. It seems like there is more
next to the Fort Schuyler Club.
Yes. The other building, what was that? The old Paul building there, where the old radio station used to be. They're really going to town on that.
I see that.
There's people
All
there,
right.
So.
Tight on the mic, please. You're not as tight as I need you to be.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm in school today.
Listen. Here is the problem. Here's the problem. And I didn't listen to everybody. When people came to me and they're like, "Oh, that Katie, she turns everything into an issue. All of a sudden, she's the victim. You're attacking her. You're not thinking about the progress in Utica. You're just attacking progress. And she's always the victim. And I always said she's been wonderful with us. Whether I like what she says or not, she's always come on the air with us. And even when we're talking about her residency stuff, she was always willing to come on. I'm not sure I believed her half the time, to be honest with you, but she was always willing to come on. And now all of a sudden that we think this looks awful, we're attacking her personally. It's a political hit job that we're working with the guy out there that wants to remove her and recall her.
I didn't even know that was going on.
I didn't even know that was going on either. I didn't know that was going on.
I don't know what's going on right now.
And guess what, Joe? we've treated her with nothing but respect. And now this garbage. Now you're picking on me. This is personal. Child. You can't act like a child and be treated like an adult.
Or if you're in public office, you have to be prepared that not everything you do is going to be well received. And
I'm going to tell you something right now, and I'm going to tell you something right now, and you know that Joe, you're going to look in my eyes and say, man, you're jumping into the fire. What are you thinking? There are times I don't agree with Samantha, and I'll tell her I don't agree with her, and she doesn't ever walk away and say, I'm being picked on, and they're.
I'm too busy.
No.
I can't.
You know why? She come back at you 10 times harder.
She'll fight you right to the end.
That's exactly
right.
right.
Tell you, I'm very close with Samantha, and there's times that we fight and scream like brother and sister. Okay, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
I fight with her like crazy. There's
Davey,
times.
Get him headphones.
There's times at my house.
Could you help him put them on? Just place them on his
There's
head.
times at my house when my wife will come downstairs and say, "Hey, okay, kids, council people, go to bed, take the phone." You know what I mean? That's our personalities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good for your
She's
wife.
She's probably tougher than I am.
Good for your wife.
But, yeah.
Throw those headphones on so you can hear when you're not on mic. That'll help.
Why, I'm okay.
No, you're not.
Oh.
It's terrible. Even your wife is like, Joe, get up to the microphone.
So now I don't have to be near the microphone?
You still do, yeah. Speaking of Samantha, she'll be on tomorrow morning.
So we'll speak with her, and again, I'm going to tell you, the only thing I can say about Katie's situation is she's had a lot of controversy, and there've been a lot of people questioning whether she lives here or the complete streets. No one can say the complete streets. I know that I always busted your chops about complete streets, but the reality is, here's something you'll agree with me on. The rollout was horrible. It was really bad.
The complete streets.
It didn't have to be so bad.
That's what my biggest complaint was. Listen, I sat in that council. This is my first year for 4 years. They had 5 votes no matter what they wanted to do all the time. So that was the part that bothered me. Bring it out 20 minutes before. Give me this. We talked to everybody and passed it through. So.
How do you feel Mayor Galimi is doing?
Excellent. I think he's doing good. I think he's been in 6 months. I like his attitude. I like the way he handles things. I think he was thrown into a hot plate. I think there's a lot of stuff that, you come in. Do you think I don't know if you listen to the council meetings, but when all that budget was going on, and I spoke up and said, what, do you think a new mayor coming in wants to raise double-digit taxes, or do you think he has to?
Well, you hear from a lot of people saying that he's doing it because he's trying to make the previous mayor look bad. And who would? The only thing I say to that is who would go down that road? Why would you want to put yourself through that?
I don't believe that. I don't. Yeah, I know Mike personally. He's the utmost, to me, honest guy and hardworking guy. I could see. When I get my emails from Mike 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Or stuff like that. So, no, I don't believe that he's trying to do that. I believe he's trying to move the city forward the best way that he can.
All right. I want you to sit tight. We're going to get to you in a little bit. You'll hang with us a little, okay?
Sure.
We have other stuff going on. We've got Ken Blankenbush coming on, Dr. Kent Hall, also this morning, and this is very big. Darlene Stad, the CEO of MVHS, is coming on, and we'll find out what is going on with the latest announcement. And the latest, of course, is that PAs cannot perform any invasive procedure. Now, that could be everything from sticking a needle in somebody to
a scope,
cutting somebody, right?
Intubation,
right.
Things like that.
So we'll get to that coming up in just a second here. Hold on. We have news, which is straight ahead on WIBX.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, we believe that safety and savings go hand in hand. That's why we offer the best prices up front on top brands including Summit, Nokia, Bridgestone, and more. With Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll drive away with peace of mind and money in your pocket. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
I found a checking account that's just as rewarding as my life. With Americu's new Rewards Checking, I earn rewards for my everyday spending. I can redeem those rewards for merchandise, cash back, discounts at the pump, and more. I even get paid a day early with direct deposit. AmeriQ connected me with more than a checking account. Visit AmeriQ.org to open a rewards checking today. Membership eligibility is required, insured by NCUA.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-215-2418, 800-215-2418, 800-215-2418.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Will there be a Hunter Biden verdict today? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The jury will deliberate a second day at the president's son's federal gun trial.
After hearing an afternoon of closing statements and arguments, prosecutors told jurors there's overwhelming evidence against Hunter Biden and accused him of using drugs, lying about it on a federal form to buy a gun, and then illegally owning and possessing that weapon for 11 days, all in October of 2018.
Fox's Rich Edson outside the court in Wilmington, Delaware. President Biden hosted a concert at the White House celebrating Juneteenth a week early, the holiday marking the end of slavery.
Folks, Black history is American history.
The president warned about old ghosts and new clothes, seemingly referencing his Republican rival as polls show more black voters considering being Trump supporters. The former president met virtually in a video call with a New York probation officer a month before he's sentenced in a criminal case he calls a hoax, political targeting, in the classified documents case.
Former President Trump and two of his associates challenging a half dozen of the 41 counts in the indictment, including counts related to obstruction and false statements. A U.S. district judge denying the request. The former president is accused of illegally obtaining classified documents from his time at the White House and of conspiring with co-defendants, including a Mar-a-Lago property manager, to conceal the files from federal officials.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The UN is suggesting Israeli forces may have committed war crimes in the weekend raid that freed 4 hostages from Hamas. Officials in Gaza say 274 Palestinians were killed. The UN believes Palestinian militants may have also committed war crimes. This after the UN Security Council approved a ceasefire resolution. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's in Israel.
It is on Hamas to move forward with this proposal or not.
They're mourning in the African nation of Malawi, where they've found the wreckage of a plane carrying Malawi's vice president, killed along with 9 others on board. America's listening to Fox News.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word PROTECT to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and there are thousands of rave reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today. And see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text PROTECT to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, PROTECT to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
We referenced the Trump classified documents case. Now the Biden case, investigated by a different special counsel. Republicans in Congress considering holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt.
The House Rules Committee will discuss a resolution to hold the Attorney General in contempt for
for not handing over audio recordings of President Biden's interview with the Department of Justice regarding his mishandling of classified documents. If approved, the full House can then vote on holding Merrick Garland in contempt, where swing district Republicans like Mark Molinaro of New York will be key in whether it passes.
When the executive decides to ignore the legislative branch, it's our job to demand accountability.
Garland has said turning over the recordings could put witness cooperation for future investigations in jeopardy. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Federal Reserve starts a two-day meeting this morning to assess the economy. It'll end tomorrow with an update on the delayed plan to cut interest rates hours after the report on consumer price inflation. For May, on Wall Street, stock futures are down the day after modest gains. Did you know there is ice in Florida in June?
Bennett got tied up. That scores from center ice. Aaron Ekblad, an empty net goal that will give Florida a 3-goal lead.
On ABC, the Florida Panthers defeated the Edmonton Oilers 4-1 with 3 goals in the final period to take a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final. The next 2 games are in Edmonton. Sergei Bobrovsky made 18 saves for the Panthers, who have outscored the Oilers in 2 games so far, 7-1, and 2 wins away from hoisting the Stanley Cup for the first time. Game 3 in Edmonton, Thursday.
That's Fox's Jared Max. The NBA Finals resume tomorrow. Off the court, the Los Angeles Lakers got rejected by a coach. Dan Hurley turned down the Lakers' offer. He'll stay in college, hoping to lead Connecticut to a 3rd straight national championship. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now, 56 degrees under cloudy skies. Light misty rain showers in the area as well. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Following hours of deliberations, the jury has handed down its verdict in the Davari Griswold murder trial. Yesterday, the panel convicted Griswold of having a role in the 2023 shooting death of 11-year-old Brexily Torres Ortiz in Syracuse last January. The girl had walked to a convenience store to buy milk when she was killed. 2 other co-defendants took plea deals and were sentenced to 25 years to life. Griswold is now facing 50 years to life behind bars. The New York State Health Department is issuing a warning about a dangerous drug that's been discovered in the region. It goes by the street name Super Mario and has a synthetic opioid that's 100 times stronger than fentanyl. At least 2 bags of drugs that were recently tested were found to have this powerful narcotic in them. The drug was designed to serve as an elephant tranquilizer, but is no longer being marketed. Instacart is teaming up with the Food Bank of Central New York to ensure folks around the area have enough to eat this summer. They've launched an online food drive as part of Instacart's Summer Hunger Community Carts program. Data shows 13% of people who live in locations served by the food bank deal with food insecurity. To find the food bank closest to your neighborhood, visit foodbankcny.org. A 15-year-old student in Fulton is under arrest after being accused of trying to sexually assault 2 of his classmates. According to authorities, both the alleged incidents happened May 13th at the G. Ray Bodley High School. The victims were a 15-year-old female student and a 16-year-old female student. The suspect has been arraigned on multiple charges, including child endangerment and harassment. And the projected tallest building in the United States has been approved for unlimited height. Last week, the Oklahoma City Council approved a new zoning application for the Legends Tower in Oklahoma City, removing the height restrictions. Plans for the build were approved in April. However, several hurdles still need to be met, including its proposed digital signage spanning across all 4 of its towers. The Legends Tower will surpass One World Trade Center as the tallest building in the country, as well as make Oklahoma City the only metropolis outside of New York City and Chicago to have one of the top 10 tallest buildings in the U.S. The plan is for the building to be 1,907 feet tall, making it the 5th tallest in the world.
And the thing that kills me about these buildings, though, is they use that little, what do they call that at the top? There's a name for it. They use that. It's like an antenna. Adds to the height. I mean, we really should judge those buildings based on
the actual structure,
but we don't.
No.
So,
the only thing that
interesting.
worries me is Oklahoma City, tornadoes.
Listen, I'm sure it'll survive tornadoes or whatever. You've got to be thinking they're building it to handle that. What it is, though, is it becomes a major attraction for terrorists.
Yes,
So it becomes a high security issue.
We don't want to give any ideas.
Whenever you, it's not like I'm giving anybody ideas. When you can say we're the 5th tallest building in the world, it all of a sudden becomes a target.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure they're accommodating for that as well.
It is yet to be constructed, but it's in the works.
Okay, Andrew, what do you have next? How about some weather?
Your weather is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net.
Here's the latest from WIBX Weather Center today. Overcast, a stray shower or a thunderstorm possible, and a high of 65. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 49. Tomorrow, more seasonable. Some clouds early will give way to generally clear conditions, and then we'll go to 72 degrees. 80s on Thursday. That's your latest. I'm Mike Johnson for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Right now, it's 53 degrees under cloudy skies at 7:09. Nagel, by the way, saying Spire. Spire is the
Spire, yeah. Sorry,
the term
about that.
you're looking for.
That is the term I was looking for. Thank you.
Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. Well, the New York Yankees got it done on the road, bouncing back from their series loss to the Dodgers at home. They beat the Royals 4-2 with a win at Kauffman Stadium. Carlos Rodon was credited with the victory after striking out 3 and allowing only 1 run over 7 innings pitched. Michael Tonkin secured the first save of the season after striking out a pair of batters in a scoreless bottom of the 9th. New York still leads the AL East at 47-21. They'll continue their series tonight in Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Mets are back home, after splitting the London series. New York will be looking to earn its second straight win when it hosts the Miami Marlins for a 3-game set that begins tonight at Citi Field. Right-hander Tyler McGill is expected to get the start for the Mets. They're 4th in the NL East at 28-36. The Jets are looking to take advantage of the league's new kickoff rule. According to NFL Network, Gang Green is hosting veteran kick returner Jakeem Grant at minicamp on a tryout basis. Grant was originally drafted by the Dolphins in the 6th round of the 2016 NFL Draft out of Texas Tech. The 31-year-old was named to the Pro Bowl in 2021, but has not played in a regular season game in 2 seasons. And the NBA Finals continue tomorrow. The Dallas Mavericks will host the Celtics for Game 3 at the American Airlines Center. The Celtics lead that series 2-0. The Panthers are 2 wins away from hoisting their first ever Stanley Cup. Florida silenced the Oilers 4-1 in Sunrise last night to take a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final. And UConn head coach Dan Hurley has turned down an offer to become the next head coach of the LA Lakers. Multiple reports said Hurley rejected a 6-year contract worth $70 million. He will stay at Connecticut to chase a 3rd consecutive national title. Hurley would have been one of the NBA's 6 highest paid coaches in the league. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM, news time, 7:11.
Okay. By the way, do you know what the CTBUH is? What it stands for?
No, I do not.
I know you don't know. Who would? Who would know, right? Who would know? Joe Beatus would know.
No.
Joe?
I have no idea.
The CTBUH stands for... Are you ready?
You should use that for Habaika's question.
The Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. Now, this is the organization that determines the tallest buildings. And they're early on, they had determined that the height of a building was ranked by its actual pinnacle. Which means
So not the spire, excluding the spire.
It includes the spire. So that's why we count that as the high. It's part of the structure, and that's what they say.
That is true. So a couple comments quickly. Joe Joseph saying that Joe Beatus is the best councilman North Utica has ever had.
That was very nice of Joe.
Hey, Joe's a good man.
We also have John.
Joe would also like to thank you for seeing to it that the city paved his driveway. Thank you.
No, they didn't do that.
That's
they
not
paved
true?
his road, but not his driveway.
I've been meaning to tell you, Robin Road in North Utica. It's got to be taken care of. It's just a disaster.
But you didn't, to be fair, you didn't pave. There was no preferential treatment. It's just how it all worked out.
Yes, it is. How
okay. Fair enough.
Believe me, the last 3-4 years, I didn't get many streets paved.
Listen, if there's anybody's street you'd want to pave, it would be Joe Joseph. He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Steve C. in Rome also letting us know that the antenna thing on top of the building is called Aspire.
Thank you.
John from Bridgewater. Bill, is the city of Utica going after the professionals that did the beautiful walkway alleyway?
The answer to that is no. Any others you want to throw in there?
No comments currently.
Okay.
No other
Although
comments
Lance was on fire yesterday saying, you
Richard?
keep... yeah, I've got Richard here.
Richard's always weighing in.
So Richard is not pleased with MVHS. He feels that Ms. Stromstad is making too much money. At the end of the day, you get what you pay for. That's how I mean... You have a facility the size of MVHS. Your CEO is gonna make a lot of money. It's just the reality of it. Let's see. But he goes on. I'm not even going to get into half this stuff. You're interviewing her. I can't believe you're interviewing her. You're going to go nowhere with that. Blah 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 blah. And Richard also complaining in an area that I agree on this morning. And that is that it's mid-June and we can't get out of the 50s and 60s.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's terrible. Who do we complain to?
You should complain to him. He's the weatherman.
You're right. The last 6 to 8 weeks have been nothing but terrible weather. I've seen many pools not even open yet, including ours. Our pool has been open since April 1st.
Actually,
we opened early.
I do the same thing because I have an older pool. But
well, then you avoid the algae.
Never, yeah.
Open cold. Close cold.
Or close clean, open clean for the most part.
Okay, all right,
you know
fair enough. By mid-August, the weather starts to turn to fall. I mean, this is terrible. We get, if we're lucky, about 8 weeks of summer. This blows. Okay. Well, listen, I'm with you.
We were in ours not last week, the week before.
I was too.
It was. Well, I don't have a heater because I have sun from dawn to dusk. It was almost.
You wouldn't even need it, right?
No,
as warm as it was. We had some nice weather, and it's going to warm back up.
Yeah,
we're going back up into the 70s and 80s, so we'll be okay. These things happen. I don't know what to say. Sometimes our weather, you're right. It seems like fall comes so quickly.
Well, you could tell it was so cold last week that I wasn't even in the backyard too much because when I went back there yesterday, I had a big rabbit on the bottom of the pool, so he was floating around a while before he sunk.
Right to the bottom. Yeah. We got hit with the carpenter ants. Yeah, I swear to God, I'm like, me and Mother Nature, it's just brutal.
You know what? We had ants.
Carpenter ants yesterday.
You have a whole ecosystem in your backyard.
It's awful.
Also.
And, carpenter ants do not respond to, like, the greatest thing to get rid of ants is that taro gel.
Yeah.
You put that thing out, and it's like crack cocaine. They come right to it. I was going to make considering it's a disease, a terrible thing somebody's addicted to, I was going to make a crack a little. I won't. There'll be no mention of
the carpenter ants.
Any trials going on.
Oh, you weren't going to call them Hunter Biden ants?
I wasn't going to do it. Anyway, these carpenter ants do not, they're the big ones, and they do not, they're worker ants. They're all business. So they're really hard to get rid of. And we'll see how we did. But it was, you could tell when New York Sash was putting in the one of the windows, the ants had gotten in and they were eating. This was new construction too. They were eating away at the framing below the window, so they were able to kill everything that was there and spray. But that meant there are other ants out there trying to find a new home. That's how they do it, Andrew. I was talking to them yesterday. It's Steve Pawnee Mazda. Their move to Mazda sales event is going on. It's back. Drive the new 2024 Mazda CX-30. Select sport model for only $275 a month on a 36-month leases. Ricky Z says, look at these numbers. Low APR financing, 0%, 1.9%, 2.9% or 3.9% on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. See Steve Ponte Mazda for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. Coming up, we'll speak with Assemblyman Ken Blankenbush. And I got to say, this is something you get into, Joe, as well. Banning single-use plastics. How are we going to pull this off? We'll talk with the Assemblyman coming up at WIBX.
Whatever happened to Tony Horton, the guy who created the revolutionary P90X?
2017, I was knocked down. A very rare type of shingles that went straight into my brain. My body was completely wasting away. I started researching everything related to building my muscle back again. That's when I learned about the potential of HMB plus vitamin D3 and what they can do when it comes to helping build new muscle.
So Tony developed high-impact protein by Power Life.
Just add 1 scoop of high-impact protein to a glass of water or your morning smoothie and enjoy the effects of that boss molecule and factory worker combination. Reshaping your body each and every day. More energy, burn more fat, and probably drop a few pounds along the way.
High-impact protein by Power Life is a tasty once-a-day powder that comes in either whey or plant protein. Go to mypowerlife.com and use code MUSCLE to save 30%. Tony even offers a 90-day guarantee. Go to mypowerlife.com or text MUSCLE to 511-511. Text MUSCLE to 511-511 today. All individuals are unique. Your results can and will vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Let's face it, life can just get messy. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will take care of it for you. If you need help with clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts will handle it. We understand sometimes it's more than just a cleanout, it's an accumulation of someone's life. We go the extra mile to do the job with integrity, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around.
Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it. That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
Get your dog started today and save up to 54% off Nature's Blend. Plus, receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
It's the ultimate summer sell-off at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse. Price cuts up to 65% off with nothing held back. Only at Carl's Furniture, New Hartford Shopping Center. It's the ultimate summer sell-off at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse. Price cuts up to 65% off with nothing held back. Only at Carl's Furniture, New Hartford Shopping Center.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, sitting in with us for a few minutes is Joe Beatus. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, guys.
Assemblyman Ken Blankenbush is on. He covers a good part of the north of Rome and that area, right?
Camden, I think.
Yeah, over there. And Ken is on the line right now. Good morning, Assemblyman. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Now, wait a minute. You had a rabbit at the bottom of your pool?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Listen, I've had...
They didn't bring in any
investigations. You know what that
investigations.
means for it to be at the bottom of the pool? It was floating around up top for a while.
So you weren't out. You weren't out checking.
I wasn't
it.
outside because the weather was horrible.
Well, Ken, is there something you guys in Albany can do about this weather? Because this is terrible.
Yeah, come on.
No, I know. It certainly doesn't feel like summer, does it?
It does not. No.
No.
All right.
Well, it's going to get better, I guess, tomorrow.
It is,
right?
yeah. It'll be up in the 70s and then 80s by Thursday. So, okay, Assemblyman, we have been here trying to figure out single-use plastic and a ban on single-use plastic in New York. What will this mean for us?
Well, let me use one of my businesses in my district, and we'll go to Lowville, New York, where Kraft Heinz is. Okay, Kraft Heinz produces the cream cheese.
Right.
The containers that the cream cheese come in that you see in your stores will eventually have to be banned.
So we're talking about not the packages that are in foil and then in like the bricks, but you're talking about
like the tubs,
like the whipped tub of cream cheese.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the single slices of cheese that you know that can't be wrapped in that
plastic anymore.
Yeah. So you take a look at this bill. It's a terrible bill. If you take, and I'm only using Kraft Heinz, and I'm only using it because the village of Lowville, there's a lot of employment in that.
Sure, there is.
And that's going to devastate that community. Because here's what I think is going to happen. They're giving, and this is going across the state of New York. I'm only using one example in my district, but you take a look at any business that produces $1 million of, anybody who produces $1 million over a year has to comply with this. Now, I think they're giving it to 2028 for them to start.
Wow.
And it has to reduce by 25%. Then it goes a few years later to 50 to 75% down the road. Well, my opinion is for the 2 years between when this goes into effect and 2028, which 2028 is not that far down the road,
right?
For a business like Kraft Heinz, what you're going to see is I don't think they're going to try to figure out how to reduce their usage of plastics and material like that. I think they're going to think about how the hell do you move out of New York.
So here's the question. So, but if they, and I understand that, but if they move out of New York, they still will not be able to have, will those products no longer be allowed on the shelves in New York?
Right.
So they won't, I mean, whether they move out of New York or they're in New York, it won't really matter.
So that's why I'm wondering, is it the manufacturing? Because what's to stop, does that mean New York's not going to get products from, let's say they move to Pennsylvania and they still can't, or is it just the manufacturer?
My understanding is it's both the shipping coming in and everything, but I don't know how they're going to control that.
You're going to tell a company that you're going to tell other similar companies that like what's the other?
Well, they're
going to
put the pressure on the. They're going to put the pressure on the. On
you're
the
going to tell
grocery
Philadelphia
stores.
that they can't.
You're going to put the pressure on the grocery stores that are going to have to say we can't accept those products.
What kind of container would they put them in? Something like yogurt or cream cheese. If it's not in a plastic container, those have long shelf lives.
Well, guess what? Guess what? When we asked that question during debate, when we asked that question down in Albany, the answer to that is they say it's in the bill. It gives them time, meaning the manufacturer, time to come up with a solution. The state's going to give them a solution. They're going to have to come up with a solution.
What would be the reason for this? Those are currently recyclable items that would. Yogurt containers and cream cheese.
I don't think those cream cheese containers are recyclable.
Yeah, so would this impact like Chobani, Assemblyman?
They gotta be.
Sure it would. What about polyvinylidene chloride? Can you?
Oh my goodness!
Which by the way is just a fancy name for Saran wrap. Think about it.
God.
Are you saying that we will not be able to use Saran wrap?
You got me on the Saran wrap.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it's determined Now, how did they word this? If it's determined by the committee that they're going to put into effect, if it's going to be determined by them whether a certain product or recycling material or whatever is eligible for this or not eligible for this, you're going to be told by the state of New York, a committee that does this. Now, you know, one thing about this is it did not come up on the floor for a vote this year. But it did in committees. In every committee, if you look at all the committee votes, you're going to see that it's a party line vote down the line in all of the in all of the committees.
Yeah.
But just to answer the question about on the shelf.
So this is not law right now.
No, it didn't come out.
All
now
right.
we were there waiting for it to come out. And by the way, this bill in its original, this bill has been amended 4 times. So they're starting to play around with it, maybe to make it a little bit easier for us to approve it. But this is nuts. I mean, and then it when you ask the question about what about can the grocery stores put it on the shelves?
Right.
It's you're the consumer. You're still consuming it. You're still going to be throwing it away.
Wow.
And, you know, their justification is that we do $15 million, 15 million tons of waste a year in the state of New York, and 14 of it is out of the New York City area.
Right.
I mean, I don't get it. It's I'll never support it.
Yeah.
I think what we're looking at is another bill that's making business unfriendly in the state of New York.
I got to tell you, yes. Well, you're right, and I mean the plastic bag thing. I get it. I mean, but most people would reuse those plastic bags over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have a few in the closet.
To this day, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Price Chopper is screwing with us. They give you the most thin paper bag.
I make them double bag it.
You got to double bag it. It's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But then you go to the deli to get cold cuts, and you get your cold cuts
and you
wrapped
can
in a
get
plastic
in a
bag.
plastic bag. Yeah, they allow that.
Kind of like during COVID,
Yeah.
you can have a drink if you eat a sandwich,
Right.
but you
If
can't
you
have a drink at the
and
bar.
does a pretzel count? You wonder. Okay, Assemblyman, this. Go
I tell
ahead.
you one other thing.
Yeah.
Is that we are told we are going to be called back.
I'm hearing that. Yeah.
Obviously, it won't be before the primary. Probably be after 4th of July. And it's could they bring this bill back up then? Certainly can. But I think what we're going to go back on is the problems that the MTA has and Governor Hochul trying to raise money. And she's talking now about a payroll tax, another payroll tax. And, this state is really under the Democratic control. And I'm sorry that I'm political about this, but it is the party is being run by the far left of the Democratic Party. It's not the Democratic Party that that people knew years ago.
Yeah.
They are being dictated, and I don't understand it because it's not the majority of that party. And I don't know when we're all not going to wake up and say enough's enough with this.
Yeah, we don't know what happy medium means. There's no such thing as in the middle anymore. That's the problem.
And I'll tell you, I think if it was upstate Republicans and upstate Democrats getting together, we could certainly compromise most of the time.
Yeah, listen, the reality is, I mean, you know it, Ken, the problem is not upstate Democrats and Republicans. These are people that can work together. They understand life up here. You're getting these extremes that are running government right now, and even running this governor. Let's not forget, Governor Hochul is an upstate New Yorker, not a downstater, but she doesn't certainly act like it because she's being run by the far left of her party right now.
Yeah, and when she was in Congress, she was actually considered a moderate.
Yeah.
who could work on both sides of the aisle. Where did that go?
I don't know where it went.
It went to Albany. Went to the governor's office.
Albany. You're absolutely right. Ken, as always, we appreciate the time. Thank you for blowing the whistle here. People need to know this is probably coming, and boy, what is it all going to mean? Thank you.
I know, but we're going to keep fighting it.
All right. Thanks so much.
All righty.
Have a great day. Good luck out there. Assemblyman Ken Blankenbush, again handles the north of Rome, Camden, that area of the and much of the North Country, that part of New York State. On the line, Dr. Kent Hall.
Alrighty.
I'm going to squeeze Doc in quickly, and then we'll take a break. And then in a few minutes, we're speaking with CEO of MVHS, Darlene Stad. Doc, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. There's obviously not a lot that you no longer work at MVHS, but I would be remiss if I did not at least bring it up. First of all, what do you think invasive procedures means?
Yeah,
based
define
on
that for us.
On the announcement. I mean, I was struggling trying to find an actual definition for that term.
So, invasive procedures can mean a lot of things. There's invasive procedures. There's minimally invasive procedures. Right. I assume that you're specifically talking about cardiac procedures.
I think, but they're not limiting it. They are not limiting it to that. In fact, they said it includes the operating room and also includes the bedside. So it's everything for PAs. They are limited to what they can do right now completely at MVHS.
Yeah. So an invasive procedure is, in its purest form, an invasive procedure is anything that breaks the skin.
Yeah.
So it could be anything from a minor
even drawing blood would fit into that, wouldn't it?
Well, technically, yes.
That's where this gets muddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Although what we're actually talking about is really more related to procedures that are not, because blood draws are actually done by lab technicians and stuff. So this is really more about when you're doing something that is therapeutic, like the IND of an abscess or something like that would be technically called an invasive procedure. But the starting of an intravenous line that goes into a large vein, like in your neck or your upper chest or in your leg, that would be considered an invasive procedure. Or obviously then you get into things like, doing surgery. I mean, those are obviously invasive procedures.
Yeah, right. I will say I was at MVHS yesterday at Wynn Hospital, and the imaging department I love, and you would know this, Doc, that it's right down on that first floor as you walk in, and that's all part of that workflow, and had some imaging done, used valet parking. I was in. I did what I had to do. I left, and it was a great experience. And it looks like the garage is pretty close. I mean, we're hearing maybe July. It's pretty close to being done. That's going to be very convenient once that is open. So my experience, although kind of a small experience, was a positive one. But it does seem that there is some sort of a safety audit going on, and limitations are being put on this until I believe everything checks out. I mean, I don't know what your interpretation of all of this is.
Yeah, and it's hard to say for sure. So I don't know. I mean, obviously the State Department of Health was in, related to the cardiac surgery program, and I think that things are moving forward appropriately there. Again, I'm not there. I don't know the ins and outs. But in general, I would say that I think that things are moving forward there. It looks like this suspension of clinical privileges for invasive procedures for physicians' assistants. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
That I don't know if that's related to something from the Department of Health. They do mention that the quality department was involved. So I presume that there was, whether it was internal data or whether it was related to a Department of Health visit, I just don't know.
Yeah. I do want to ask you on the medical side. We just saw a story, although these last couple of days being so cold, I think don't necessarily support this, but tick and mosquito season, these viruses that are transmitted from insects like ticks, it could be a very rough year. And would you say that the risk? Yeah, a lot of people will say, I don't like to spray that spray on me or my kids because, I believe it may cause cancer. At the same time, you have the risk of getting Lyme disease. How do you assess that?
Yeah, so it is. So to your point, it is exactly a risk-benefit analysis. And, the sprays, whether it's off or any of the other sprays, they all basically have the same active ingredient, which has been found to be safe. Nothing is 100%, but it has been found to be safe enough to use for humans, and it has gone not only through rigorous testing, but also through, it's been around for a long, long time. So, what I would say is that I think you're right about what's going to happen once the weather actually does start to become more summer-like, is that there's going to be an explosion of ticks and mosquitoes, by the way. This weather, when it starts to turn warm and there's standing water, mosquitoes come out, and the mosquito-borne illness, whether it's, encephalitis or dengue fever, things like that. I mean, so we have to be very careful of them. Certainly related to ticks, you need to be careful in how you dress yourself when you're going out. You're going to be in tall grass or around bushes and things like that, because that's where you're going to come in contact with them. So, this is just really, really an important thing, because I can tell you Lyme disease is not something that you want to get. Thankfully, caught early, we have good medications and antibiotics, but you just have to be careful. Inspect yourself when you come out. I will tell you that I was out at a photography seminar in late April, early May, and I came back and I had a tick on me. So it's,
they're out there. Yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah. Just be careful out there.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
All right, Doc. We appreciate it. We're going to speak with Darlene Stad coming up in a few minutes, and I know there's not much that you can say. You're not there anymore, but we do appreciate your insight. Gives us a bit of a perspective here this morning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad to do it. And again, I think I will say what I've said for a long time, which is that the folks at MVHS, the bedside people, I'm talking about the docs and the PAs and the nurses and the respiratory therapists and the lab technicians, they all are all about taking care of patients and taking care of this community. So you have to give them credit for that. And if there has been a quality issue and MVHS has said we need to do something about this, good for them. Good for them for identifying something and saying, nope, we're going to take an action here because it's the right thing to do.
Dr. Kent Hall, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and please be safe.
Yeah,
you too, Doc.
You do the same. One comment from Laced Up here. I think she in a nutshell, she's saying, I think the valet service is a waste of money. I think it's important, essential right now.
I think they're going to keep it going.
Without the garage, you'd be walking all the way around. It'd be very difficult to get to where you need to go. And I do think you may be right. They may be keeping it. You may have to pay for it. That might be possible, but they might be keeping it. Okay, Davey, it's time for Habaika's free money question of the day. $200 on the line here this morning. $200. You're looking for caller number what?
Caller 8.
8 caller through the lines right now. Caller number 8 right now. You could win $200 or even $300 this morning. We'll do it next on WIBX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platform is highly addictive and causes eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text POWER to 323232. Text the word POWER to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice attorney Donald A. Migliori is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice, LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, 29464.
Burst pipes, broken appliance hoses, overflowing toilets. Water damage happens when you least expect it, and even a small problem can cost you thousands, especially if you don't act quickly. But when you call ABC Chem Dry, we'll be there within an hour. All ABC Chem Dry technicians are specially trained to deal with any water emergency, from small pipe leaks to major flooding. We'll clean and extract your carpets, we'll dry out your walls thoroughly, we'll make sure your family is safe from mold, and we won't leave until everything is perfect. Plus, we'll work with your insurance company to make the claim process easy. Remember that you have the right to use the company of your choice for water damage restoration. When you trust ABC Chem Dry, we'll do everything possible to protect your home and save you money. If you need help with a water emergency, call ABC Chem Dry at 738-1111, 738-1111.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Why do we say we bring the fun to your backyard? Because at Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, that's exactly what we aim to do. And a fiberglass pool can bring years and years of backyard fun. A fiberglass pool from Tucker Backyard is more affordable now than ever. Plus, with durability, low maintenance, and of course, beauty, it's the perfect fit for your backyard. Come visit our unique indoor showroom, including 3 fully functional pools, giving you a full hands-on experience. Or try our new interactive showroom and design the pool or spa of your dreams. Interact, design, review, and save. With Tucker Backyard service and knowledge, now is the time to stop by and learn more about putting the pool of your dreams in your backyard. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, 1 mile west of Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com. Visit Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, Seneca Turnpike. We bring the fun to your backyard.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and now in Clinton. It's summertime. Thinking about doing that 5K for the first time? Or how about getting back into that bathing suit for beach season? We want to help you feel strong, confident, and help create those healthy habits so you can feel great. And guess what? For the next 2 days, we have a BOGO offer. For just $97, you can purchase 2 28-day programs. But hurry, because this offer won't last. Spots are limited. Start living your best life with me and my amazing team at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and in Clinton.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1904 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1904 O silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. This is a key date for silver dollar collectors, and only a limited quantity are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-222-1975, and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1904 O Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O mint mark of the New Orleans Mint, the final year of production, but with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1904 O silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 117 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-222-1975. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-222-1975 now to secure your 1904 O Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-222-1975.
WIBX.
Careful there, Johnny Rocket.
WIBX
I'll even move
950 and 92.3 FM.
Okay.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Matcha. The matcha latte is so delicious. And they have it right for you at Daylight Donuts, along with 14 other lattes that are just delicious. Almond Joy latte, it'll blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
The best donuts and coffee, it's Daylight Donuts with a speedy drive-through. You're in, you're out, you're on your way. Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. On the line right now is Bill in Rome. Hey, Bill, good morning.
Good morning.
You know the deal. You have 7 seconds to answer the question. If you get it right, you win $200 from Hobica. Additionally, we're doing Laundro Lottery Consolation Week with my mom. And you have an additional chance of winning $100, whether you win or lose. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
Hobica's free money question of the day, brought to you by the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica at 315-724-1600. Andrew, are you ready?
Always.
Here we go. Which state did Benjamin Franklin represent during the Constitutional Convention in 1787? Ready? Go.
Massachusetts.
Was it Massachusetts? Was he a Bostonite? When people make mistakes on this one all the time and they say, he was from the state of Philadelphia. Well, no, Philadelphia is a city, and the state you're looking for is Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're going to give you the fun and food card. It's good at any of the locations at the Comets. It's good at Taylor and the Cook, at Aquavino, Cookies, Q and Creamery, and Babes, which, by the way, has an amazing brunch on Saturdays and Sundays at Babes in North Utica. Right now, we're going to give you a chance, however, to win Laundro Lottery. So you lose out on $200. Bill, can you win $100?
I hope so.
All right.
The answer is yes.
Let me bring in my mom here. Mom, good morning.
Good morning.
She has a dryer right there in her kitchen, conveniently, and she has 30. They are clothespins. Each one is numbered 1 through 30. You will, Mom, you're going to turn that radio down in the background. It's, it's very loud. Okay, beautiful. All right, here we go. So, Bill, you need to pick 3 numbers between 1 and 30, and then she'll start the dryer, okay?
Okay.
What are you picking?
Number 4.
4.
Number 15.
Okay.
And 23.
Okay, Mom, start the dryer.
Start those clothespins.
All right, here we go.
You know there's a dryer there because of the new
round and round. You can
sound
hear
effects.
Round and round it goes. Bill, where it stops, nobody knows.
Only Mrs. Keeler.
All right,
will
Mom,
know.
let's pull out 3 of them here.
Number 15.
Oh. Hey! That's it. He wins $100. That's right. You've won $100 in Laundro Lottery. Okay, enough of that.
Courtesy of Mrs. Keeler.
Mom, thank you. Great job. We get a winner on day number 2. That's huge.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. And away my mom goes. Bill, congratulations. You eked out a win here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, okay?
Okay.
Good stuff. Wow, he's a winner.
That's awesome.
And our second
First
day,
pin.
and it
First
was the
close
first pin
through.
coming out. Yeah. All right, you heard the news from yesterday. MVHS has put out a memo last week, basically restricting PAs from doing any invasive procedures. Not sure exactly what all of that means, but it broke in the news yesterday. And the CEO of MVHS, Darlene Stad, is on the line right now. Darlene, thank you as always for coming out and talking about these things and where you guys currently stand. Good morning.
Good morning, and I have to say, I usually don't start my mornings with that much fun.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, and we got a winner. That's the beautiful part of it, right?
Right, but I would have guessed Massachusetts too. I was sitting here thinking, oh, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Well, and you think about the whole Philadelphia thing and Ben Franklin, it all kind of comes together eventually. So
We can't just give away $200, Darlene.
that's right. We have to make it difficult. Enter my mom. That changes everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously this was a memo that went out to staff members, and it has made it public. But it's another. You can't help from our standpoint help but look at it as it's another difficult story for Wynn Hospital. How do you respond to that?
So just notice that every business practice we undertake is not news. We do things routinely to make sure that we're following regulations and providing a safe environment for our patients. So this to me feels a little crazy and far-reaching. And I would also say that it's very demoralizing to our staff because they're doing such a good job. And to constantly be in the headlines is demoralizing for them, especially when they know this information is being fed to people by their coworkers.
Yeah, it's definitely, obviously this was a memo to employees, so this came from someone on the inside that was leaked out to everybody in the media.
So, and it's not to all employees. It was only in those areas where we wanted people to stop and look at credentials. So here's the story. So PAs, they are a part of all the work we do in our hospital and in our practices. We hire PAs, individual physicians hire PAs, Locum Dixon has PAs, and they all are required to have medical staff privileges. And so that's like a blanket statement, but they also have to have privileges for certain procedures. Not all procedures, but there are certain procedures where they need to demonstrate additional training, education, and all of that is done under the supervision of a physician who has to sign off that they are credentialed and can do that. So sometimes what happens in an organization where you have people that have been here for a long time, you have PAs that have been around for a long time, and they're well known, they're credentialed, and they're trusted by physicians. A physician might say to a PA, hey, could you help me with this procedure? And it feels right. But if that PA does not have that specific training, he may not help with that procedure. So we wanted to take a time out and let's go back and look at the PAs who are doing procedures and make sure all their credentials are up to date. We do this with our nursing staff too. Nurses have to have updated license to practice nursing. And we run reports routinely to make sure that everybody is updated their license. This is standard care that we do, standard care.
Now, how many PAs do you currently have at Wynn Hospital?
Oh, boy. I would say between those we employ and those who come in from physician practices, maybe 100 to 125.
Oh, wow. Okay.
By the way, I was there yesterday. Had imaging done yesterday. Used valet and the valet parking. My experience was really good. Everybody was pleasant yesterday, which is nice to experience. However, there are a lot of people out right now that are saying, I'm afraid to go to Win right now over the story about open heart surgery and that sort of thing. There's been a confidence leak, if you will. How do you respond to people with that fear?
So the confidence leak, I understand. It's a reputational hit we took, but it was completely done to support patient safety. So that should be more encouraging for people that we are willing to take these hits based on patient safety. Yeah. So, and that is the truth. We could have hired unknown locums to come in, but we did not want to. I did not want to introduce strangers into an organization right now. So instead, we chose to take the pause. We are taking a reputational hit, a financial hit, and it also makes people kind of mad at me. But it was absolutely the right thing for us to do. So while we're doing that, and we had already undertaken a review process of our entire program. That's going on right now. Secondly, we are contracting with 2 cardiac surgeons who are going to come in so that we can start redoing TAVR structural heart procedures. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Dr. Hall could tell you what structural heart procedures are. Yes. So that's happening beginning on June 18th. Not open heart surgery, just structural heart. And secondly, we are going through an interviewing process now to rebuild our cardiac surgery program, but that takes a few months. So we're not going to do open heart until I have a full team here.
All right. I'm wondering if I could, we're coming up on a hard news break, and I have just a couple more questions. If we could reach right back out to you in about 5 minutes, right after the news. Yeah. And I have some additional questions that I think people, and I appreciate the fact that you're coming on and you're speaking on these issues. It is so important that the people of this community have confidence in Wynn Hospital.
I agree.
All right. Stand by. We will get right back with you. I'm going to put you on hold to make sure we have a number to call you right back at, so stand by. We do have news coming up straight ahead. We'll take Darlene instead of local news coming up next. Stand by.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Hunter Biden's jury gets back to work next hour. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, the day after they deliberated for about an hour after getting the gun case against the president's son in Wilmington, Delaware.
In closing arguments, prosecutor Derek Hines asked jurors, was Hunter Biden an addict? Did he know he was an addict when he filled out that form? That's all you have to decide. Hunter's accused of 3 felony counts for lying on the ATF firearm purchase form about being an addict or using illegal drugs at that time in October 2018.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
He texted his former sister-in-law 2 days after he bought the gun that he was in a car smoking crack. But Hunter's defense team reminded jurors that no one actually saw him doing drugs the day he purchased the weapon or the 11 days in which he had the gun.
Now, President Biden hosted a concert at the White House last night celebrating the Juneteenth holiday a week early.
A day of profound weight and power. A day to remember the original sin of slavery.
Fox's Peter Ducey reports from the White House the president also accused Republicans
of trying to take away Black Americans' right to vote, trying to do anything to reverse this trend. He has shed 7% of his Black voter support since October of 2020. Trump has gained in that time 9%.
4 American teachers hospitalized in China after being stabbed in a park in the city of Jilin. They're all instructors from Cornell College in Iowa, and their injuries considered non-life-threatening. The suspected attacker is in police custody. In Africa,
the vice president of Malawi, Solos Chilima, is among 10 people dead after their plane came down in the country's mountainous north. President Lazarus Chakwera made the announcement, adding there were no survivors. It took more than a day for 600 rescue workers to find the wreckage.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel for talks again, urging Hamas to agree to a ceasefire proposal to stop the war in Gaza, approved by the UN Security Council, that would set more hostages free. America's listening to Fox News.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word PROTECT to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and there are thousands of rave reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today. And see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text PROTECT to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, PROTECT to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
We have updates in 2 Trump criminal cases. A federal judge has rejected the former president's attempt to get some of the charges dismissed in the classified documents case. The same day, there was a Trump meeting with a New York probation officer ahead of sentencing in a month.
The interview with probation officials was mandatory, intended to provide facts to decide the proper sentence. In New York State, judges, not juries, determine what that will be. Former President Trump was found guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. The report for Judge Juan Merchan will take factors into account: criminal history, the defendant's story, maybe even give a sentence suggestion. The decision could be up to 4 years in prison, but probation may be ordered on July 11th, after which an appeal is expected. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
House Republicans have tough questions today for a Democrat at a meeting behind closed doors. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who rose to fame when the COVID pandemic started in 2020 with his daily news conferences.
Cuomo came under intense criticism when he permitted COVID patients to be placed in nursing homes, putting the elderly residents at risk. Thousands of nursing home patients died from COVID under his watch. He will be grilled by the House Select Committee on Coronavirus.
Fox's Gary Baumgarten on Wall Street. Stocks could drop. Dow futures down more than 100 points as the Federal Reserve starts a 2-day meeting to assess the economy. In hockey's battle for the Stanley Cup, Florida wins again.
And now Lundell survives a check from Bouchard. They score! Evan Rodriguez again!
That was shortly after Rodriguez's first goal of the game broke a third-period tie. The Panthers added an empty netter and beat the Oilers 4-1 on ABC, giving Florida a 2-0 series lead in the NHL Stanley Cup Final. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, moments ago we were speaking with the CEO of MVHS, Darlene Stad, and Darlene is back on the line here now. This is important for enough for us and for this community for us to move things around to get her back here this morning. Darlene, good morning. Thanks for coming back on with us.
Of course.
So go ahead. I think you were in the middle of something. If you want to add to where you were, and then we have some questions.
Yeah, regarding the rebuild of the cardiac team.
Yeah, just quickly to recap that we're doing a review of the entire program. We have people on site right now who are helping review everything and giving us advice. And it's always really important and good to have outside eyes, I think, come in and look at your programs. The second thing is that starting on the 18th, we will be restarting our structural heart program. And then we are also very actively interviewing cardiac surgeon candidates to rebuild our program long term.
Yeah.
It feels very positive to me.
There are, as you know, a lot of rumors out there. And in fact, there have been rumors about everything from I think I've hit you guys with some crazy rumors as well, like the building sinking. That was a couple of years ago. But there are a lot of rumors about what happened, that it was an actual incident or a couple of things that occurred that led to the cardiac, to that shutdown. Is that true? Was there an incident that led to all of this?
No. There was a series of concerns about people's inability to work well together. And this is a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain this to people, but you may think you're relying on one person. You are relying on a team of people that must work together well every single day.
Let me, yeah.
Right. And if you can't do that,
Yep.
then that can impact patient care.
Fair enough. And I would say there, post-COVID, we were told, again, one of the things that I've heard, there have been, St. E's used to have a very award-winning heart program. But doctors retire and end up moving on. And has that played a role in where we are currently?
Yeah, so our size is this. Our size is of the number of surgeons we have is small. The number of procedures we do is significant. We did in 2023 299 open heart surgery. That's a lot.
Yeah.
The next largest is St. Joe's, and the others around us are much smaller than that. So pretty significant. But if you have a bench of 2 cardiac surgeons and something happens to one, you have no program because our bench is too small.
Okay.
And so we had already been having discussions about augmenting the number of surgeons we have in our community.
Well, that actually, so I want to just go back to something you just said a moment ago regarding people working together as a team and the difficulty that people had doing that. And that was kind of one of my thoughts, or maybe what I'm hearing is that trying to blend 2 cultures of the St. Elizabeth and St. Luke's culture has made things complicated and maybe has led people to throw their hands up and say, I'm done, I'm leaving. Is that the case?
There has been more of an impact, I think, and it's hard to know, but I do believe there has been a harder process of bringing the 2 organizations together under one roof than I would have expected. I thought we'd made a lot of progress, but when we were in a new building, people kind of go back to their old habits, and those are not the same habits from St. E's to St. Luke's. I do believe that since we moved in, we have made enormous progress on bringing the cultures together. We're actively working on it, and I think the place where it shows up the most is in our nursing areas, where you see people working together really, really well. And our patient satisfaction in our nursing units is very high. So it's coming along pretty well.
Yeah. Speaking with the CEO of MVHS, Darlene Stad. In fact, I spoke with someone recently who I always ask people who are technicians or physicians or what have you at the hospital. I always ask, so how do you like the new building? I thought this was a very unique answer. This person said, I love my job. Whether I was in the old building or the new one, I love the new building. It's really nice here. But I love my job, and that has not changed. I thought that was a really unique answer.
Yeah, that is a great answer. And I think that's true for the vast majority of the people that work here. So I'm in here every day. And the way the hospital is built, I run into patient families every day. And I love that. And they stop, they see my name tag at badge, and they'll tell me about their experience. I'm out in the community. People tell me about their experience, and it's really positive. Just this weekend, I was out and about. I had a couple of people that had been in the ER that pulled me aside to tell me their experience. I had an out-of-town guest here that was kind of afraid to come to a small hospital in Utica. Thrilled with his care. So I have these really positive stories, and the stories are not about the building. They're about the people inside.
Yeah.
They're about the way people are treating them.
We've heard also many stories about recently, maybe in the last couple of months, that there have been layoffs to nursing staff. Is there a truth to that, and can you explain that if it is true?
So there are 11 positions that were held by RNs in which we needed to change shifts or hours. And it is required by union contracts that if you make any change to a nurse's job, you have to give them a termination notice. And then based on seniority, they can bid on other jobs and move into other jobs. That's called a bumping process. So anybody who wants a job, any RN who wants a job in this organization can have a job because we have about 200 RN openings.
Wow.
But if we're changing your shift or your hours, we have to give you that termination notice.
Okay.
That's union laws. We hope they all stay.
Right. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Has the and again, I apologize if this is already taken care of, but I do know that there was active negotiations with the nurses and the union that was selected. Are those ongoing, or has a settlement been reached?
The settlement has not been reached. I don't know that there has been a negotiation session for a couple of months. There have been, I think, 26 negotiation sessions and the use of a mediator, and it is still stuck.
All right. And then finally, I would like to ask you, this is we've all gone through so much. I can't imagine what you guys have gone through within the organization, but just the people, the community, the local politicians and local leaders. Everybody's gone through so much to get this hospital open. The controversies, this was a labor of love. There's just no doubt about it. So I think people feel a certain ownership of the hospital. So I know that when we spoke to a representative in the past, he admitted that there's a financial stress on MVHS right now, and that it is better. I would ask you, as the CEO, where are you financially? There are so many stories out there of just millions of dollars per month being lost. Where are you financially right now?
We are recovering. We have had a tough year. Every hospital in central New York has had a tough year. I think that over 50% of the hospitals in New York State are operating in the red. And that's true nationally as well. And it's like, I call it the COVID hangover. Supply costs have gone up and labor costs have gone up. So our overall costs are up 17%. Our reimbursement is up 7%. So there is a gulf there, right? So we are working hard to bring that delta closer, right? And we are making good progress. We're working with a company called Guidehouse. They're a national consulting firm, and they are helping us look at efficiencies in the way we deliver care. Because we came from two small hospitals used to doing things their own way. This is not necessarily a merger of the two of them coming together. This is a whole brand new hospital. It's a brand new hospital.
Yeah.
So we have to look at our practices, our efficiencies, and be very mindful about how this building gets run, because it is different. And they're very helpful to us. And we are making changes. And we're, I would say, scheduling things more tightly doesn't make everybody really happy, because if you're used to working like 9 to 5 and now you might have to work 7 to 3 because that's when the patients are coming, you might not be happy about it.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a surgeon, you're used to having a block that you could choose to use or not use. Now we're saying you got to fill the block, or you can't just leave it open sitting there, because then we pay people to sit there without patients. We're not doing that. We've got to be a tighter run organization. So it doesn't always make people happy, but we are making good progress.
I have two final, and then we'll let you go. Number one, how does this compare to, you've done this before. You've opened up new hospitals. How does this compare?
This is harder.
Yeah.
This is harder because we did bring two different facilities into the building at the same time. And also, I would say, in every community, there are naysayers, but they usually get quiet. Our naysayers have been at this for 9 years. That predates me. 9 years. Wow. That's crazy to me. Crazy. Because the constant fear tactics, those aren't directed at Darlene Stad. The people who are getting afraid are the patients that need to trust us and use us. It's wrong.
And with that said, it does seem, I don't want to give you the answer to my question, but I do want to preface it this way. It does seem that you have been willing, the hospital has been willing to make sacrifices, financial sacrifices, when it comes to the safety of the patient, i.e. the suspension of open heart surgeries. I can't imagine anybody there was like, oh, this is great, let's do this. The reality is, can you assure the people of Central New York that this is a safe place to go and that they can rely on Wynn Hospital going forward? What do you say to people?
This is a high reliability organization, and that is something we put in place 5 years ago. And that means that we must make every decision based on patient care. And we do. And sometimes it's painful because people get mad at us. We lose money because of it. We close things down, but we will not sacrifice patient care. We just will not do it.
All right. Darlene, we really appreciate the time here this morning, and I hope we can do this again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For all you do for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darlene.
Darlene Stad, CEO of MVHS. We'll talk a little more about this, and I do want to bring, I do have some questions, Joe, and I can't help but throw, and then there's a ton to talk about.
Oh, we got a lot
when
of
it comes to Albany.
questions.
Senator Joe Griffo is coming in, and we have comments as well. We'll get to all of it. Coming right up. Stand by. Coming right back at WIBX.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, we believe that safety and savings go hand in hand. That's why we offer the best prices up front on top brands including Summit, Nokian, Bridgestone, and more. With Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll drive away with peace of mind and money in your pocket. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Flag Day is June 14th, and the Frigo Agency and NYCM Insurance are celebrating with a flag exchange. Show your patriotism by flying a beautiful new American flag. Bring in your old, worn-out American flag to the Frigo Agency, 136 Clinton Road, Route 12B in New Hartford on Thursday, June 13th and Friday, June 14th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and exchange it for a brand new one. They'll handle the proper, respectful disposal of the worn flags. Don't have a flag? Just stop in and they'll give you one. While supplies last, one per household, please.
Hey, Frank, looks like business is booming. What are all those tabs you have open on your computer?
Oh, hey, well, this one is for my SEO company. This one is for my website company. This one is for my CRM. This is for invoicing and estimates. This one does email, and this one does billing.
Geez, that sounds tricky to manage.
It's clunky, but I need all this to run my business. Wait, you run your own business, and you're even busier than I am. Don't you have all this stuff, too?
I do, but I get it all on one screen with the Town Square Business Management Platform.
What's that?
The Town Square Business Management Platform is an all-in-one tool that helps me grow and run my business. It combines website, billing, and scheduling into one program.
That sounds simpler than juggling all the tools I have now, but you still need someone else to help you find new business, right?
Nope. They have powerful digital advertising built into the platform as well, which helps me keep my calendar full. You can get a demo of the product for free. Check out their website. See if it makes sense for your business.
Go to townsquarelocal.com for a free demo of the Town Square Business Management Platform. Visit townsquarelocal.com. That's townsquarelocal.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
We're not arguing over the hospital. Actually, I had told Joe which horse to pick in the Belmont. He did.
And he lost.
The horse came in second, and this other one, 17-1. I'm sorry, Joe.
But it was amazing that the Belmont was in Saratoga. I wish I would have had the opportunity to go, but we were at the end of the session, so we were all in the Capitol, sequestered in the Capitol.
That's a horse race in itself.
That is a horse race.
All right, let's go back to Darlene Stad. I consistently get you weren't tough enough. You were that's ridiculous.
We just asked her very difficult questions.
Very difficult questions, Joe.
I just came in. Obviously, I was hearing a little bit on the radio in the car, and then I heard your ending. And first of all, you have to appreciate the fact that she made herself available to come on.
She did,
So people can't criticize that there's not the access or the opportunity to ask the questions. And I thought you had a very good interview. I'm just saying that so you'll go easier on me now.
It's also very...
Which he never does.
Don't think that you're getting out of that.
No, that never happens.
It's also very interesting how there's a different side of the story. So, yes, there were some employees who had to be laid off, technically, but they had to re-up. So it's very interesting when you get another side of a story.
Yeah, I mean, with all the openings, it just doesn't make sense that they're 200
openings
off
right now. Yeah.
Well, the concern, I think it's a fiscal situation. I think you're seeing that in many institutions right now. A lot of people are facing fiscal challenges, particularly hospitals. Remember, Downstate Medical Center actually was on the brink of closure, and the state stepped in because that is a state hospital Upstate is. The problem is they didn't do the same for Upstate, and Upstate is facing serious challenges too. And I've been trying to advocate that we need to dedicate resources there as well as they develop a number of programs to take care of this region in Upstate. But Downstate, they gave $300 million for capital and $100 million in operating funds. So just an illustration that many of these healthcare
You're saying
institutions,
Upstate SUNY Hospital in Syracuse?
They didn't get anything, and they need money too.
Oh, you're saying that?
Downstate Medical Center, which is the equivalent of Upstate, Downstate. It's in the city. They were teetering on the brink of closure. So the state moved in. There was a recommendation to let them close and then to redesign the healthcare down in the city, and then choose other facilities and institutions that were there.
That would be a debacle. As it is right now, the hospitals there, the emergency rooms are just so overcrowded to begin with. Could you imagine if one closed?
Well, that's the problem, that we had the Burger Commission that predated me, and they did close hospitals, if you remember. That was a version like BRAC, the Base Realignment Closure
Herkimer
Commission.
used to have a hospital. Little Falls used to, it does have a hospital. Sorry, Ilion used to have a hospital. And you see a lot of that stuff, the little hospitals in many cases have gone away.
The whole complexion of healthcare has changed. And again, I'm not an expert in this area, so we have to rely on talking to people who are involved in the industry. But the delivery of healthcare, I mean, we see this now with hospitalists, where there was a time when your doctor followed you. Now you see somebody different if you're hospitalized. There are just so many different nuances. There's different levels. There's the nurse practitioner, the physician assistant, the doctor. And we deal with a lot of scope of practice issues, which always concerns me in Albany, because we are, elected by the people, but don't have, and unless you're a physician in there, you don't have that type of background or expertise. And yet you have these different levels of the healthcare industry trying to interact and determine who should get what. Like, for instance, we had one time with ophthalmology and optometry, where the optometrist wanted to prescribe orally as well as topically, and the ophthalmologist initially were reluctant to. So these are scope of practice issues that become very complicated and challenging.
What do you? You heard Darlene. How do you respond to what's going on? And at the very end, she said, and it seems like when she says this, they're following suit. They're actually following through on it. She's saying care has to be at the pinnacle of every decision, and which is why they walked away temporarily from open heart surgeries.
Well, absolutely. I think there's nothing more important in healthcare than ensuring that people are getting not only adequate care, but the best care possible.
Yeah.
So quality of care has got to be the primary motivation. And it's difficult in recruiting physicians and retaining physicians right now. So I don't know what took place there and what action resulted because of the decisions they had to make. But I would agree that quality of care is the most important thing you can provide. And that's why we always talked about that, if you remember. You can have all the new bells and whistles, brand new structure. But
this is interesting because not everybody talked this way. If you remember, there were plenty of people who said, with a new hospital, we'll be able to attract all the newer new doctors, better doctors.
That was the talking
not
point.
to knock what we currently had, but there were other people, and you were one of those who kind of pushed back and said, we're still going to be the same community as we were. I'm not sure you're going to get, all of a sudden the greatest of all great physicians to say, I'm moving there because it's new.
I mean, it's an incentive. It's state of the art and with all new technology. So that is, I think you find some physicians that would find that interesting and desirable. But I think in the end, we have a physician shortage. And I think this is a significant problem across the state, retaining doctors, recruiting doctors, and others in the healthcare profession and nursing. I think you're seeing this everywhere. We see these shortages, and we talked about this on your show in the past. I think we should have declared a national crisis post-pandemic because where did everybody go? You're seeing shortages in education, in healthcare, in public safety. So it's just something that's baffling to me. But yes, quality of care has got to be the primary motivation. And I think that's always everybody wants to accomplish and achieve that.
Yeah.
And yes, the hospital can entice potentially someone who has an interest, but in the end, it's the people in the building. And everybody always said that. It's not only it's the nurses, it's the PAs, it's everybody that's involved in the healthcare process.
All right, stand by. I know you have a bunch of comments, and then I want to talk about Albany, and there's a lot to do. So stand by. We're coming right back at WIBX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Thinking of a purple mattress this Memorial Day? Mattress Express has the largest selection and save up to $800 on select purple sets. Take up to 60 months to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on $1,500 or higher purchases.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. That is Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF-certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their roofs for Troops mail-in rebate. That is Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
The Utica Center for Development wants you to join the city of Utica's Independence Day Parade, sponsored by Master Vito Hyundai. Register for the parade, have fun, build a float, or just walk and show community support on July 4th. To register for the parade or to be a vendor for the 4th of July party in the park, sign up today at ucdevelopment.org. The City of Utica parades are brought to you by the Utica Center for Development, Master Vita Hyundai, Bank of Utica, and Save the Day Foundation.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
There's no glory in getting beat up on the job. Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting work done. But Ferris commercial mowers at Clinton Tractor help you finish strong and feel good doing it with patented suspension technology. Visit Clinton Tractor today for a test drive and feel the Ferris difference. Or go to clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Flag Day is June 14th, and the Frigo Agency and NYCM Insurance are celebrating with a flag exchange. Show your patriotism by flying a beautiful new American flag. Bring in your old, worn-out American flag to the Frigo Agency, 136 Clinton Road, Route 12B in New Hartford on Thursday, June 13th and Friday, June 14th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and exchange it for a brand new one. They'll handle the proper, respectful disposal of the worn flags. Don't have a flag? Just stop in and they'll give you one. While supplies last, one per household, please.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their Roofs for Troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy.
Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platform is highly addictive and causes eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text POWER to 323232. Text the word POWER to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice attorney Donald A. Migliori is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Okay, Joe, I want to talk about Fred F. Collis & Sons heating, cooling, and insulation. You know that you may be relying on those box fans or the box air conditioners. They are not efficient. The coolest is central air or heat pumps, those sorts of things. All help people save money and cool their home. Right now, very limited time, you can actually save substantially on home comfort systems installed by Collis with Carrier's Cool Cash rebates. There are currently amazing rebates available for products like AC, furnaces, air source heat pumps, programmable thermostats, and the list goes on. And the deadline for Cool Cash, Carrier's Cool Cash promotion, is coming up at the end of this month on June 28th. Remember that. And, you know, we're always talking about how Collis is there for their customers if the furnace goes down, et cetera, but we never really talk about the guys that deliver oil and do so to make sure your home is warm and taken care of all year long. So it may be cooling season, but the deadline to sign up for Collis's cap budget plan to save on your oil deliveries for this upcoming season is quickly approaching. The plan ensures you never pay more than your capped price for oil. And if oil prices happen to go down, you always will get the lower price. It is a great program from Collis. So if you want to learn how you can avoid high winter oil bills with this fantastic price protection budget program, or if you want to take advantage of the cool cash rebates, give your team at Collis a call this week. 315-768-2323, 315-768-2323, or chat with them on the web at fredfcollis.com. They'll take great care of you and keep you cool. We highly recommend Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, so you want to win windows. I got to say, we just had 4 new New York Sash windows installed in our home. You could have the very same 4 windows installed in your home. And all you have to do is go to our website, and there'll be a link there. I'll put that up right at the end of the program. You can click right on it. In the upper, the trending bar there, you'll be able to click on it. But for right now, go to NewYorkSash/Keeler. NewYorkSash.com/Keeler. NewYorkSash.com/Keeler. You can sign up, no purchase necessary, to win 4 brand new, top-of-the-line New York Sash brand windows installed in your home. No purchase necessary.
That's a sweet prize.
New York, NEWYORK, spell it out, NewYorkSash.com/Keeler, and you'll get the same windows we just had installed in our home. Senator Joe Griffo is in studio right now. Joseph, we have a few comments.
Okay.
Andrew, what do you have?
So we do have somebody here, John from Bridgewater. I'm sorry I didn't get to ask this when Darlene was on. Why problems now? St. Luke's, St. Elizabeth, and Faxton Hospital didn't have all these issues. Also, how many patients passed away in Syracuse waiting for rooms like at Wynn? And then there's a couple of comments, and this would be a good transition into talking to you about.
First of all, part of the reason why the changes you've now merged, and I didn't see this coming, is that because what I just thought the MVHS has owned all 3 of these hospitals for so long, I would think all these problems have been worked out. But it turns out the way it was done is everybody got to do their own thing.
Yeah.
So then they're bringing them all under one roof, and here comes the merger, all these merger problems that you get, whether you're merging a hospital, you're merging schools, or whatever, happens all the time. I didn't realize that was going on, but it is.
Well, it makes sense. You know, you've got the 2 staffs, essentially, 2 ICUs, 2 emergency departments, 2 general surgery departments that are coming together, doing things their own way, and personalities clash.
Didn't realize it.
Hopefully they would be over it by now, but hopefully they will continue to grow, like Darlene says. And this is a good transition into another topic with Senator Griffo. Andrew and Remsen saying freezer bags too. John Deerfield saying, how would this plastic ban impact businesses like ConMed, where they use plastics to package sterile medical devices? That is a huge impact to hospitals if they cannot purchase medical products necessary for patient care and surgery.
I realize, Joe, this has not become law, and it was not introduced. I didn't realize that when we talked to Ken Blankenbush earlier this morning, but that is the case. But it is being proposed, and it does seem like it's on the horizon. That would include sandwich baggies, everything.
Yeah, well, actually, we'll go through a lot of stuff, but that was passed in the Senate.
It was
and
in
it
the
was
Senate.
not in the Assembly, thankfully. That's one time the Assembly actually did something. It's called the EPR. So it's a packaging bill. There were a number of things. There's a proposal for a bigger, better bottle bill. All of these things will have an impact on the consumer, which is very important. So look, this session, and I know you've talked to a number of state reps. I haven't been able to hear everybody, but I would say if you were grading this, it'd be an F. Because there was a failure to address the affordability crisis in the state that continues, a failure to address the public safety challenges that we're facing, and we continue to, like on bail, things of that nature, a failure to address new issues like anti-Semitism, which was resonating along and across the state on campuses over the only thing that saved that was graduation and the colleges going on
now they're moving to the White House lawn.
And
there were incidents that occurred at college campuses last week.
And the
after they've closed.
And the outward migration continues. I mean, that has got to be one of the most pressing problems that we face, and it's all due to everything I just discussed. Because if you don't address those things and you think you're dealing with something, let's take congestion pricing. You go down to see Grace in the city, you were going to start paying a lot more money if you were driving into the city.
And then you invest all this money in the infrastructure.
Only to say no,
and then you bail.
But you know what happened there? That became political because it was a stupid decision to begin with. And it was resisted for a long time. And then when they start, that's all we keep asking people, do your research. Really do research and determine if this is something that is suited for what you're trying to propose. In this particular instance, we knew it was unreasonable and unrealistic, but they failed to do this because ideologically they had to go in this direction. So they do this, and as you indicated, the MTA spends almost $1 billion in infrastructure in order to implement this.
Wow.
And then at the 11th hour, the governor decides to hit the pause button. She happened to be in Washington a few days before, and I think we're told then that they're concerned about the fate and the future of the House of Representatives. And yes, this would have been a disaster if it went through. So then her answer as to how to deal with it was because now you have to offset those costs that have been undertaken, is to put a payroll tax on. Well, there were a lot of people in the GOP that were actually applauding that one because the last time they did that, they lost everything. I mean, that's just putting another tax on people for no reason, for stupid decisions and policies. Beyond that, when that failed, she then proposed going into the General Reserve account, which was going to affect all of us now, to go dip into the reserves, which she already did for the migrant crisis. And we've already spent over $4.5 billion in a self-created crisis on the migrant issue. So this is what I'm saying, poor decisions, poor policy, and this is a reflection of one-party control. When you look at the issue that you were talking about, when we look at some of the CLCPA stuff, right, the climate stuff, and we've talked about this on your show.
All they're saying that, and you say this passed the Senate, single-use plastic ban.
Right.
Now, the problem is, what does that include? Everything from Ziploc bags to...
When you go get a Happy Meal, you wouldn't be able to get the ketchup anymore. In fact, I had somebody saying pretty soon what they were going to... You know how they have the little packets for the ketchup and everything? So somebody said you'd
you'd
be going in there. Think about it now. You'd have to go... How do you do this now? You'd have to have a big vat, right, and throw stuff in there.
Yeah,
and everybody... Now, talking from a sanitary public health perspective, right? Everybody's going to be going in there and grabbing stuff in. It's just... they'll say, well, you can use a bottle instead of a plastic bottle. But then you're dealing with parents with children, if somebody's in a refrigerator. It's just a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense. When you talk about energy policies, we talked about this before, the limit in local control. They call it a RAPID Act now, which was passed. So basically it makes it very easy and quickly to put in any renewable energy policy with really, it doesn't matter what the local government says. Well, we're a home rule state. We've always respected local zoning laws and local control. They should have input. Remember NYRE, how we were able to stop the New York Regional Interconnect, forming an 8-county coalition that I was involved with as a former county exec. Then we have the Office of Renewable Energy, which now is under the Public Service Commission. They're going to supersede everything. So no matter what anybody says, if they feel it's needed and in the best interest of the people, then that's what's going to take place. So I think when you look at this, it's an epic failure of policy, and that's where the packaging laws.
I saw a political cartoon the other day. It might have been Tribune Media, which I think is Post-Standard, Syracuse.com. But it was in the subway, and it was Governor Hochul pushing the taxpayer into the subway in front of a coming car.
Oh, boy.
But it does feel like when it comes to this whole thing they were going to do where if you went down below, 50th Street, you were going to be charged $20.
Exactly. And again,
that's gone now.
Let me say this, too, because I don't want people to say, well, you just are critical, because we have offered constructive alternatives. And it's not that we won't and do not want to embrace renewable energy. I just say let's do this in a reasonable manner with realistic timelines.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where we differ in the approach.
Here's Kathy in Rome with a question for you, Joe. Kathy, you're on with Senator Joe Griffo.
Good morning. I was headed by to go to the casino the other day, and I drove by the closed prison. The grounds and the building and everything looks atrocious. Are they doing anything or have some kind of outlook for, or are they just going to let the prison just sit there and decay?
That's a good question. And we have, this year, the governor has proposed closing additional prisons without putting any economic aid along with those closures. And we've had this conversation on your show in the past that I think we will do well based on merit. Jobs are important, but we also have to show that we fulfill the mission, and we do it in a cost-effective manner. And we have some unique facilities in our area, like Walsh Medical Center, the pharmacy, Central Pharmacy, things of that nature. Food service is all involved in our hub here. That was all done between. It was supposed to be an objective, with the Office of General Services as well as the Department of Correctional Services and the Empire State Development Corporation, and it's a failure. She's right. I mean, we've talked about what are you going to do with those buildings. I would rather knock them down than to leave them like that. They're looking for reuses. What reuse are you going to do when you have one prison next to another? What can you locate there?
I mean, you have the grass, you have the trees down. When it was the state school, it was the grounds and everything. The buildings were immaculate. And It's really atrocious.
So Kathy, we'll follow up on the grounds because I've got to take a look at that. We've been in Albany so much that I haven't driven by and looked at it recently. The upkeep of the grounds, I think we can put some pressure on and make sure that takes place. But it's the reuse of the building that I'm concerned with because what do you do with a structure like that?
Yeah. Okay, Kathy, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I did speak to, just over the weekend, I spoke to a correctional officer. And despite bail reform and things like that, he says
it's
there's
really
something
not bail
like
reform. They're bail changes. I know that's what everybody calls it, Andrew, bail reform. But if it were truly reform,
or bail removal,
right? Bail removal. That's better.
We could call it that.
Just coined a good phrase here.
Or inspiration to shoplift.
Yeah, right. But he did say that there's 4,500 more prisoners in the rolls this year than last year. Okay, so there's more prisoners, yet she's going to close prisons.
How is that possible? Because you're still, if you commit a high level crime, you're still going to jail.
Right, you're still going to be
prison.
Convicted and
so that's probably not necessarily changed all that much.
No, I mean, look, I think this is just again a philosophic, political, ideological move. This is what they believe, and. But you still have overcrowding that you have to deal with. You still have this violence within the facilities that we have to deal with. And I mean, to me, that is where we should focus our priorities in all of our efforts right now, instead of looking to close more things. And the money they're going to save, the savings, they tout savings that they're going to accomplish. It's like $77 million, $100 million. She's going into the general reserves, as I told you. She took out $500 million for the migrant crisis. She now wants to go dip in for almost $1 billion to reimburse the MTA for something she told them that they should do, and now put the pause button on. She was at Saratoga. You talked about the Belmont a little while ago. I didn't see the race that night because we had other commitments, so I didn't get a chance. But I understand that she was not greeted very well when they introduced her to hand out the trophy at the end there.
Do you
the mood of the people of the state of New York?
Do you long for I can't even believe I'm saying this, but do you long for the days of Andrew Cuomo? Because at least Cuomo was, I mean, you always knew where basically he was going. He had no problem telling anybody. And the other party wasn't wishy-washy when it came. He made decisions. Whether you liked him or you didn't like him, he made decisions.
His puppet strings weren't as tight.
Were you better off under him, or is it both bad?
I think we would be better off with balanced government, divided government, because there's checks and balances. But in this particular instance, we've got a lot of problems that are obvious. And I don't believe the direction. When you talk to the pollsters, talk to John Zogby or talk to Steve Greenberg, and they'll tell you that, or I should say Jeremy now, right, because he's running everything. When you poll New Yorkers, a great majority of them, almost 60% plus, they were heading in the wrong direction.
But a lot of people can't stomach voting for the alternative.
Well, I'm not sure what the alternative is. I think people aren't paying
What is the
attention, and
alternative?
elections have consequences.
I'm saying, to elect Lee Zeldin or another governor. Maybe that wasn't the most popular candidate, but you're saying it. Okay?
Well, I think first of all, the problem you have is you're in a state that is dominated by Democrats downstate. I mean, that's the problem.
I think there's some brand loyalty, okay? That's something we have to deal with. But I think people are starting to wake up to and realize, do you want to send another person to add to the majority of the current majorities? Do you want to continue to have one-party control of the state of New York?
I think yes.
Okay. Good luck with that. I mean, I don't know that the makeup of this state can pull off another George Pataki.
I think it can.
You think it can?
And I think the state will be ready.
We've argued
for that.
about this. We have, and you may be right.
Well,
it may
look at
be
Massachusetts.
Ready.
Massachusetts
No doubt.
has proven that you can do that.
A very Republican state. I mean, yeah. I want your take on two acquisitions that come out of Rome. Booz Allen acquiring Par Government Systems Corporation. And then Next Tech Solutions has agreed to acquire Rome Research Corporation and expand services. Are you up on any of this?
I am not. Booz Allen bought Par, you said?
Par
bought Booz Allen?
No, Booz Allen has acquired Par Government Systems, which is owned by Par Technologies. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with either, but I think that sounds like transactions. I know that Par has got a great CEO right now. Savneet is doing a phenomenal job there. Very happy to have someone like that at the helm and investing in the community too. And on the other, Nice Tech does a great job. So I'm confident that if they're involved in something, it'll be productive and positive.
I want to, we're always talking about what's going to happen at St. E's, what's going to happen at St. Luke's. What are your you don't. I can't keep track of which areas you cover anymore. It seems because I think in to be honest, in a year ago you might have had 3 different districts during an entire year.
I was in 20 counties.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
2 months.
But it's something I heard you say recently is that even though this is not your district, and this is something actually one of the candidates who's running for Congress had said, one of the Democrats, and I agree with it, is that even though in the congressional district, Rome is not in the 22nd, the person who represents the 22nd is going to have to consider Rome, whether they like it or not. And I think for you've always done that. For instance, sometimes you've covered Herkimer County, other times you haven't. Right now you don't. What's going to happen to Remington?
Well, actually, I do cover 3 towns in Herkimer County.
You're right, way up down near Richfield Springs.
I have County Legislator Keeler in
As
my
a matter
district.
of fact, my dad and mom are in your district in a tiny little section, which I think they did for them, to be honest. So they wanted to be
there are communities of similar
yours.
interest.
Yeah.
And I think this is a region, and we've always worked well together. So from my perspective, from an electoral perspective, elected officials, we actually, if you remember, I actually started the Mohawk Valley 9. So we were able to bring everybody together regardless of political affiliation, regardless of the office that you hold, both local government and state representatives. We've always worked well together. So, yeah, we'll continue to work with the Herkimer County officials.
Do you worry about? I mean, that's an enormous facility.
It is, and it's very similar.
Old.
It's very similar to what you said earlier about the hospitals and things of that nature. I tend to believe in a lot of cases, and this is not a popular position, but I believe in starting fresh. I know a lot of people want to talk about renovations and what can you do with it, but it's kind of like you're in the real estate business. I think building new sometime really is an incentive that would work.
Yeah.
So
seems to be a favored plan for St. E's,
right?
Although there are some that disagree,
right? And well, I tend to believe the best would be to have a clean slate there and to start.
It's what every new fast food chain, whatever they want to come in and tear it down and start over.
But in Remington's case, I think there's some unique challenges and some unique opportunities there. So there we would work with the local community to get interest and input, as well as the economic development officials to say what could we do there and what would be best. We're seeing the same thing with colleges now, unfortunately, right? You have Cazenovia. We have
It's
the State
unbelievable.
Police Academy
Yeah.
there temporarily for at least 2 years to hopefully have this transition. You have St. Rose in Albany, right in the heart of the city of Albany.
How many colleges around throughout the region, throughout upstate New York, might be in financial trouble right now?
I think you're going to see more, yes. And I think, unfortunately, it's what we're seeing everywhere, whether it's hospitals or universities, and this is troubling to me. I mean, we're starting to see everybody facing serious and significant fiscal challenges.
Okay, I thought everything was great. A couple of years ago, we were throwing money out like crazy. The federal government was paying everybody for everything.
Well, that's part of the problem, too, right? The excessive spending. Like here in New York, $10 billion over last year in our budget. Over the last 5 years since we've had one-party control. I know this sounds political. Now, I'm not trying to be political, but these are facts.
Right.
$37 billion or $37 billion in new spending, larger than 30 other states' budgets.
Wow. Senator Joe Griffo, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We will do it again. Glad to see you're back here in the district.
Back.
All right. He's back. Isn't there's a song we could play?
Or I could
back.
say,
I'm back.
I would be back.
Okay. We got to go. We're back here tomorrow. Thank you.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day. Veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend, made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend, plus receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and now in Clinton. It's summertime. Thinking about doing that 5K for the first time? Or how about getting back into that bathing suit for beach season? We want to help you feel strong, confident, and help create those healthy habits so you can feel great. And guess what? For the next 2 days, we have a BOGO offer. For just $97, you can purchase 2 28-day programs. But hurry, because this offer won't last. Spots are limited. Start living your best life with me and my amazing team at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and in Clinton.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain